needs for all
So the scale of these products are amazing, but they're all still working up their way towards Android, which I'm excited as of this week, we crossed over 2 billion active devices of Android.
And address problems, concerns, and needs for all parties.
As you can see,
the
the robot is pretty happy too behind me. So
a critical part of success.
It's a privilege to serve users at this scale. And this is all because of the growth of mobile and smartphones.
And address
problems, but computing is evolving again.
And needs for all
we spoke last year about this important shift in computing from a mobile-first to an AI-first approach.
Any real estate transaction
mobile made us reimagine every product we were working on. We had to take into account that the user interaction model had fundamentally changed
all parties involved
with multi-touch, location, identity, payments, and so on.
A critical part of success.
Similarly,
in any real estate
in an AI-first world, we are rethinking all our products and applying machine learning and AI to solve user problems.
Concerns and needs.
And we are doing this across every one of our products. So today, if you use Google Search, we rank differently using machine learning.
Any real estate
or if you're using Google Maps, Street View automatically recognizes restaurant signs, street signs using machine learning.
Concerns and needs.
Duo with video calling uses machine learning for low bandwidth situations. And Smart Reply in Allo last year had great reception. And so today, we are excited that we are rolling out Smart Reply to over 1 billion users of Gmail. It works really well. Here's a sample email. If you get an email like this, the machine learning systems learn to be conversational, and it can reply, I'm fine with Saturday or whatever. So it's really nice to see.
And address problems.
Just like with every platform shift, how users interact with computing changes. Mobile brought multi-touch. We evolved beyond keyboard and mouse. Similarly, we now have voice and vision as two new important modalities for computing. Humans are interacting with computing in more natural and immersive ways. Let's start with voice. We've been using voice as an input across many of our products. That's because computers are getting much better at understanding speech. We have had significant breakthroughs, but the pace, even since last year, has been pretty amazing to see. Our word error rate continues to improve, even in very noisy environments. This is why, if you speak to Google on your phone or Google Home, we can pick up your voice accurately, even in noisy environments. When we were shipping Google Home, we had originally planned to include 8 microphones so that we could accurately locate the source of where the user was speaking from. But thanks to deep learning, we use a technique called neural beamforming. We were able to ship it with just 2 microphones and achieve the same quality. Deep learning is what allowed us about 2 weeks ago to announce support for multiple users in Google Home, so that we can recognize up to 6 people in your house and personalize the experience for each and every one. So voice is becoming an important modality in our products. The same thing is happening with vision. Similar to speech, we are seeing great improvements in computer vision. So when we look at a picture like this, we are able to understand the attributes behind the picture. We realize it's your boy in a birthday party. There was cake and family involved, and your boy was happy. So we can understand all that better now. And our computer vision systems now, for the task of image recognition, are even better than humans. So it's astounding progress, and we're using it across our products. So if you use the Google Pixel, it has the best-in-class camera, and we do a lot of work with computer vision. You can take a low-light picture like this, which is noisy, and we automatically make it much clearer for you. Or coming very soon, if you take a picture of your daughter at a baseball game, and there is something obstructing it, we can do the hard work, remove the obstruction, and have the picture of what matters to you in front of you. We are clearly at an inflection point with vision, and so today we are announcing a new initiative called Google Lens. Google Lens is a set of vision-based computing capabilities that can understand what you're looking at and help you take action based on that information. We'll ship it first in Google Assistant and Photos, and it'll come to other products. So how does it work? So for example, if you run into something and you want to know what it is, say a flower, you can invoke Google Lens from your assistant, point your phone at it, and we can tell you what flower it is. It's great for someone like me with allergies. Or if you've ever been at a friend's place and you've crawled under a desk just to get the username and password from a Wi-Fi router, you can point your phone at it,
address problems, concerns, and needs for all parties involved in the transaction.
And we can automatically do the hard work for you.
A critical part of success.
Or if you're walking in a street downtown and you see a set of restaurants across you, you can point your phone because we know where you are and we have our knowledge graph and we know what you're looking at. We can give you the right information in a meaningful way.
A critical part of success in any real estate transaction.
We are beginning to understand images and videos.
Anticipate
all of Google was built because we started understanding text and web pages. So the fact that computers can understand images and videos
has profound
implications for our core mission.
Is our ability to communicate.
When we started working on search, we wanted to do it at scale. This is why we rethought our computational architecture. We designed our data centers from the ground up, and we put a lot of effort in them. Now that we are evolving for this machine learning and AI world, we are rethinking our computational architecture again. We are building what we think of as AI-first data centers. This is why last year we launched the tensor processing units. They're custom hardware for machine learning. They were about 15 to 30 times faster, and 30 to 80 times more power efficient than CPUs and GPUs at that time. We use TPUs across all our products. Every time you do a search, every time you speak to Google. In fact, TPUs are what powered AlphaGo in its historic match against LaserDom. As you know, machine learning has two components. Training. That is how we build a neural net. Training is very computationally intensive, and inference is what we do at real time, so that when you show it a picture, we recognize whether it's a dog or a cat, and so on. Last year's TPU were optimized for inference. Training is computationally very intensive. To give you a sense, each one of our machine translation models takes a training of over 3 billion words for a week on about 100 GPUs. So we've been working hard, and I'm really excited to announce our next generation of TPUs. Cloud TPUs, which are optimized for both training and inference. What you see behind me is one cloud TPU board. It has 4 chips in it, and each board is capable of 180 trillion floating point operations per second. And we have designed it for our data centers so you can easily stack them. You can put 64 of these into one big supercomputer. We call these TPU pods, and each pod is capable of 11.5 petaflops. It is an important advance in technical infrastructure for the AI era. The reason we named it Cloud TPU is because we are bringing it through the Google Cloud Platform. So Cloud TPUs are coming to Google Compute Engine as of today.
Is our ability to communicate, anticipate, and address problems.
We want Google Cloud to be the best cloud for machine learning. And so we want to provide our customers with a wide range of hardware, be it CPUs, GPUs, including the great GPUs NVIDIA announced last week, and now Cloud TPUs. So this lays the foundation for significant progress.
A critical part of success in any real estate transaction is our ability to communicate, anticipate, and address problems, concerns, and needs for all parties involved in the transaction. A critical part of success in any real estate transaction
is
our ability to communicate,
Can't believe it's 1 year already. It's a beautiful day. We've been joined by over 7,000 people, and we are live streaming this, as always, to over 400 events in 85 countries.
Is our ability to
last year was the 10th year since Google I/O started, and so we moved it closer to home at Shoreline, back where it all began. Seems to have gone well. I checked the Wikipedia entry from last year. There were some mentions of sunburn, so we have plenty of sunscreen all around. It's on us. Use it liberally.
Concerns and needs for all.
It's been a very busy year since last year. No different from my 13 years at Google.
Part of success in
That's because we've been focused ever more on our core mission of organizing the world's information, and we're doing it for everyone.